Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. It is the fabric of Everton. Sarah and myself here to get into the things that are happening off the pitch. How are you?
I'm okay, you know.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. It's footy's not great, but can I just ask you? I mean, we're not going to talk about the ground. We're going to. I know you're desperate to talk about the ground.
No, I'm not.
But I feel like what I want to do is what I want to do is I want to let it build up a little bit.
Okay.
And make sure that we're at a point where it's like the right time. But just on the atmosphere, did you think it was better on Monday night against Manchester United?
It felt organic, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt a little bit raw. I think probably playing United helps, doesn't it? It gives you that sense of like it's a northern thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels like it is developing, and it will, won't it?
Yeah.
It will do that.
We will sort of touch on the ground a little bit on what we want to talk about today.
Okay.
So Andrew Middleton, he's now the president of business operations at Everton. He's been doing that since January. But he put a thing in the programme the other day about the importance of growing Everton's commercial growth. Some of the points he mentioned were financial regulations, what they mean for revenue generation is fundamental to on-pitch success. The ownership's commitment to reinvesting commercial revenues into football operations. The commercial platform offered by Hill Dickinson Stadium. Planning for next season on the stadium, including enhancements to the fan experiences in the Budweiser Plaza and Club View. Using the hydraulic tower and other stadium utilisation.
Yeah.
Ongoing Everton branding of the stadium. So obviously in the last few days we've had a couple of announcements about summer games happening.
Yeah.
But the rugby union, and we've got the England women's team so they're in June and July. But I think we know we've missed the concerts now. I think we knew that anyway, didn't we?
Yeah. Good for the women's game. Great.
No, that's fantastic, isn't it? So
yeah.
it's fantastic to have England, two England teams, even though one will be wearing bootcut jeans. But it's and brown shoes. It is. I mean, they're positive, aren't they, for the stadium?
Sure. Sure.
Go on, just tell me.
For Everton Football Club, I guess it's great for Hill Dickinson.
Is that how you see it?
I don't.
Is that how you see it?
It's just, listen, I don't know. I'm interested in the development of the brand of Everton Football Club, if that is what part of his commentary was there. Is there a 5-year plan? Is there a 10-year plan to elevate the football club itself? I don't know. Is there? Should there be? Should there have been? I think but that's a whole nother subject.
Can you see but though, when you read that about all the commercial money will be put into put into the team, is that not exactly what needs to happen nowadays?
Is that not anyway? Is that not what always would have happened or should have happened?
Yeah, but obviously it didn't happen at Goodison Park because we couldn't. Number one, we couldn't have those things. We couldn't have concerts. We couldn't have international games. We couldn't attract people to those games. I mean, because there's like little things with the stadium. So I'm running the half marathon next month, and the half marathon is now starting at Hill Dickinson Stadium.
Right.
And I just feel like it's like little things like that. They're almost like just little wins. Like little wins. I run there was a 10k one down there in October, and it was lots of people on the plaza. I think the club shop was open for a while, and there was lots going on down there, and you're getting people down there who may have never been down there. And I just thought it was like a little win, like a little putting the stadium on the map. And I think that's the same with like the half marathon in Liverpool is one of the most popular half marathons in the country now.
It is.
Running's become such a big sport.
Which is great.
And it attracts people from all over who they want to participate. And like you've got that running tourism. And I feel like that's a really good way of just introducing people to the stadium and for them to just be introduced to it. And then they know where it is. And then
I get that.
And then maybe if there's an event there, they look and go, I'll go to that place. I'll go there to see that game or that artist.
Is it an introduction to the stadium though, or to Everton Football Club?
Are they not?
Because
are they not one and the same, or have you seen them detached?
I see them as detached. Okay. I think the change in atmosphere is a positive, but I think that stadium does not give enough Everton Football Club. I mean, the name itself. Well, that's a whole thing, isn't it?
Well,
in
I heard Les from the Blue Room talking about this last week, and he said even if it was tweaked and it was called Hill Dickinson Everton Stadium, and that was what was in the lights. Now the big problem with that is that's a very indulgent thing.
Indulge?
No, but it's a very indulgent thing because someone's paid rumoured amount of £10 million a year. So does that not take away the branding of what they are trying to do? And then isn't that like trying to, have your cake?
It's that thing again, isn't it? Who sets the tone in putting those offers on the table and looking at the offers and putting Everton in the shop window and saying, like, this is what we expect. And I don't know. I think there's a conversation to be had about how the club, like who the club reach out to in terms of elevating let's call it the brand, whatever it is, and how...
You hate that word, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, it's a brand. It is a brand, isn't it? But I mean, that crosses over into identity. I'm sick of talking about it, but identity and elevation and heritage, and how I think there's a reason that a lot of clubs are really pushing the heritage thing, which we've completely missed the boat on.
Yeah, we will talk about that.
But I think it bleeds into like clubs desperate to appear authentic because they know, I mean, the game is completely sold out, hasn't it? On like a bigger level.
No, absolutely.
But I think fans are also on the other end of the spectrum, desperate for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
And so there's this weird crossover of capitalism and empathy and emotion and all those feelings of history. And so we're a really weird position, aren't we? Like, you can see it. Like,
I totally get what you mean, because fans are desperate to have their game back, aren't they? The game is getting more and more away from the fan. The fan experience, as we've spoke about before, is a complete shock at this ground to what it was at Goodison. It has shocked people how different it is, and how they have gone from feeling like a club that cares about them to a club I couldn't care less about them. And I'm not saying that's how it is, by the way, if anyone's listening. I'm just saying that's how it feels to some people, that they have gone from one end of the spectrum to the other. And we've discussed that on another podcast. And I feel like clubs are trying to, and identity is the word, isn't it? We're always talking about an identity. What is the identity? And we've also spoken about how, like, you can create an identity so it makes it feel like you've had that identity for 100 and odd years, but you actually haven't. It's only been around for the last 10, 15 years. It's just clever marketing. Like, when did they start calling? When did Old Trafford become the theatre of dreams?
That's a great question. I don't know. Was it the late 90s?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that like, is that something someone just started saying and then someone went, oh, it's always been the theatre? And
big media push.
It's like, and then people who are older go, oh, I can't remember. And you put it down to memory. And people who are younger go, oh yeah, I remember them saying that when like Alex Ferguson was in charge. It was the theatre of dreams. And it's the same with like calling Goodison the grand old lady. I don't remember anyone calling Goodison the grand old lady when I was a kid.
No, but because it wasn't.
It was just Goodison Park.
It's a thing as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just became a thing, didn't it? It's like, the same with like when you hear certain songs and you feel like they're yours, like it's a grand old team. It's a Celtic song, but you co-opt it, don't you? Never Walk Alone to a Celtic song. Liverpool co-opted it. Dortmund had it. But it's whoever it resonates with more. Yeah. And I feel like, and who's got the bigger ability to market that also becomes a big thing as well. So I feel like we're in this period of time where people are desperate to have their football back, and football clubs realise that, and that's why they are pushing nostalgia, and that's why they're pushing retro. And
it's really cynical, that,
we all fall
well?
into it, as he sits here wearing his Italy 1996 top because I was at the game at Anfield. But it's like, I want we all feel like if we can get that right balance, we can tolerate. Speaking of myself, you can sort of tolerate modern football if you feel like. But actually, it's still giving me a little. Me and you every single day are exchanging things where we're like, "Have you seen this new kit from this?" You know.
Yeah.
I sent you a Boca Juniors one today. Boca Juniors retro kit. Boca Juniors wore Nike when that kit came out. So it's not their kit.
No.
But in the eyes of people, they'll go, "Oh, I remember them wearing that kit." They never wore it.
But it's in vogue, isn't it?
But
as
it's
well?
in vogue, yeah. So you want, and we will talk more about that.
But the association of that, though, you know, you said that fans are desperate for that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that it was easier for us as fans to endorse football when we were at Goodison than when we've moved?
Yeah.
Was it easier to endorse it?
Because we hadn't. I'm going to use the word. We hadn't sold out. We could still claim we were one of those teams that still had an authentic stadium, the last great stadium, whatever you want to call it. We still own that. We were still part of that. We hadn't sold out. We were in the machine, and now we're in the machine. And we're now, a lot of fans are desperate to get out of the machine. Whereas I do believe there's a happy medium. I do believe personally, because I feel like I don't see the point in resisting. Like, you know, I'd be terrible if this country.
You can't, can you?
I'd be terrible if this country got invaded. I don't see the point in. I don't see the point in being in resisting in terms of like, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And you either get on board and try and shape it, or you're just going to be kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
and if you're kicking and screaming, I feel like you're going to have to leave football. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't help you. It's just it's unpleasant.
And sometimes I do feel like that, by the way. I do feel like that. Sometimes I just feel like, what's the point anymore?
I think there is the happy medium, but I also, again, and we're not going to delve too much into the stadium thing, but I do think it was a culture shock because we went from Goodison, which felt completely Everton, didn't it, to this stadium that, I've said it before, just feels like we're renting it out, and that's because it does not give enough Everton Football Club, and it's not supposed to. Everything is by design.
But they didn't say that though. You know, when we got it, one of the things they said was, and this was different from the Spurs Stadium, and ironically, it's called the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, I'll come back to that in a minute. But one of the things they actually said, I don't think I'm talking out of turn here, by the way, is they said that at like Tottenham's ground, everything can be changed. Everything in the ground can be changed
game from game,
so when it's an NFL stadium,
event,
right, or Beyonce's playing that within the stadium, like all the bars can be changed from like whatever the bar's called on a match day to whatever Beyonce demands or whatever the NFL demands it to be called. So that, I don't know, the bar would now be called the touchdown bar or something.
Okay.
And one of the things they said was that can't happen at our stadium. If you go into those bars are going to be called after certain players or whatever it is, the Queen's Head, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There'll be no way, you know, everything is going to be Everton defined or coded for any event, no matter what. And I believe that, but I also believe what you've just said there. Of, I don't think they on day one had finished the stadium, and I still don't think they finished the stadium. By the way,
I don't think they know how to finish the stadium.
No.
Okay. I agree with you. I don't think they have, and I don't think they'd finished it at that point. They haven't finished the shop when it opened either.
No.
But I mean, like, just why are those? You know, these are one-off opportunities to like set the tone and set a precedent, and it just would not happen at elite clubs, at clubs at even just a standard level. Like,
do you think that partly goes down to? Do you think that partly goes down to the previous ownership? Of maybe the previous ownership was so, well, he was so like gone, and the board were clearly gone towards the end, that a lot of maybe, and I don't know this, so I'm putting it out there, and if someone wants to tell me, but it's like maybe it was just getting built, and it was a case of just get it built, and we'll deal with everything else afterwards. We'll deal with what it looks like inside. We'll deal with how club view is going to be. We'll deal with, you know, all the internals of it, the what's on the walls, whether the concrete's going to remain grey or blue. Because I just remember walking in that first day thinking, I expected this to be finished. I expected it to be done. I expected all the murals on the wall to be done. I expected, and it just seems to be, and I don't think I am wrong in this, it feels like it's still a massive work in progress, even in what Andrew Middleton said there, you know, doing something with the hydraulic tower. Now, why wasn't the hydraulic tower from day one ready to go? Why, you know, do you know what I mean? Like little small things like that. It does make you wonder, and I do believe that crossover had something to do with the owners not taking, the owners becoming the owners literally two days before the keys were given to us.
Yeah.
So I feel like they could not do anything before that, clearly, because the thing had to be, you know, we were in that limbo, weren't we? And we'd already been in that limbo with them where they pulled out. So it had to be all had to be sorted. Every I needed to be dotted and every T needed to be crossed before. And I feel like when they handed the keys over, maybe they just didn't have enough time. And you know, as I said, it was almost like it was just it was just an empty stadium. And part of them picking the keys up at the end of December that year was, we now have got 8 months to actually do the internals, and I just don't feel like they were done. And I still think they're getting done.
It's just a concrete bowl, isn't it? You know, it feels. I don't know. It's weird because surely it's weird, Mashiri, because we've got the stadium, haven't we? I don't think anyone was putting the money into a new stadium for Everton Football Club. Like, the sheer scale of that project is it's insane, isn't it? And it took somebody a little bit unusual to do it.
Yeah. But it was out of his depth, wasn't it?
How history
Which is mad, considering.
how history will treat him will be an interesting one. I think surely when you are spending that amount of money, and it's hundreds of millions of pounds, that you bring in a marketing team and a branding team, a media team that it doesn't feel like you're just getting the keys and then you go in it. Like, there's a plan, like, surely. But then I think there should have also been a plan with, you know, before we got Steak, there should have been a plan before we got Hummel, before we got, and then we got, I mean, it's like 10-year plans.
Yeah, I do feel like, and again, I don't know this for fact, but I feel like it, just by going into the ground, it feels like that maybe decisions were made to make it, to make sure that the ground was finished. And say, I one of the things I would say is, I always feel like it's strange that in the South Stand, to get to the upper, you've got an escalator, and in no other part of the ground has an escalator. And I feel like when I
feels like the old top balcony. It's weird.
But when I look back, I think, like, for a modern stadium, I don't believe anyone really should be. You know, not calling anyone lazy, but I just don't think like anyone should be walking up steps. I feel like there seems to be other things that I've heard, and I'm not saying these are. I'm just putting it out there. It's like I feel like there's areas of the ground that should have lifts, and they don't have lifts, and I just wonder whether that's because when it was getting built, someone had to make decisions of if we want to get this this stadium finished for the time that we need to finish it in. And the people who were building it, obviously, they had, you know, there was always talk, wasn't there? And again, it was just rumours and speculation of there isn't enough money to finish this. And when we did get money off like 777, it was put out there of like, this will enable us to finish the stadium. There was always that thing. And you just wonder whether those final touches, those lovely little touches you just said there about having people on board, well, maybe you couldn't afford to employ those people, those teams didn't get employed till the freaking group come in, and then by the time they'd sat down and made a plan, you're maybe 2 or 3 months in and you've only got 4 months left, and that's where everything's been knocked on. So I do give, if that's true, I do give Everton the benefit of the doubt on that, but I also believe since the freakings come in that it should have been something like a 24/7 job. I do believe that there should have been people in that stadium night and day getting that stadium finished, because I think it's to not have it ready for like the first day and if it to be dragged along and almost be like a work in progress. I don't really accept that, because we pay a lot of money for it to not be for it to be finished, essentially.
And more money next season. It's just like, I think, again, it comes into how the club want to be sort of, you know, looked at.
Yeah.
And I just don't think, honestly, the last game of the season at Goodison, to have something like Adidas and have it just. But again, these are things that over like you don't. You know, as soon as we signed the contract with Hummel, we should have automatically been thinking about the next 5 years. You know, and then what? You know, the last game of the season there for that. You know, final game there at that ground. What's going to be the sponsor on that shirt?
Yeah.
Is it going to be something that we want that we think represents our core value or? And then going into the new stadium, I'm just like, there's so much like interesting history we could just delve into, and that's like outside of football too. You know, I don't know. I think it's having the guts and the integrity and the honesty to just be like, we're going to try something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I think if you run with something with integrity, I feel like every time we do these things, like Hill Dickinson's probably the latest of, it's like put it next to steak and put it next to Castor, that it's like they just chip away at the little bit of value that the club holds. I mean, the club over the last 100 and
Would you have
years.
liked to have seen? Would you have liked to have seen maybe them hold off on the sponsor on the sponsor for 1 year
at least?
Because, and again, I think this might have been in what was being said on that podcast was, if we'd had 1 year of it being called the Everton Stadium, and I understand why you wouldn't do this, by the way, then it becomes Everton Stadium, like the Echo Arena is still the Echo Arena.
Yeah, it is.
It's only called Marks and Spencer's when it's on TV or the M&S Arena, sorry.
But it is the Echo Arena.
But it's always, to anyone who's doesn't have to call it that. It's always the Echo Arena. Will always. And what strikes me actually about the Hill Dickinson Stadium is, it does strike me how many people do actually call it Hill Dickinson. Like, I never expected.
Evertonians, yeah.
Like, when we're doing our shows, obviously I have to call it Hill Dickinson. That's what it's called. That's what it's called. I'm not allowed to even call it the Hill Dickinson, because it's not called the Hill Dickinson, it's called Hill Dickinson. Of course. But it has surprised me how many people do call it Hill Dickinson and don't go Bramley Moor or Everton's Ground or whatever.
I'd probably say that too, yeah.
You know, I do feel like now it's just become, it's and I never thought it actually worked. I never thought it actually scanned. I just thought it was a ridiculously long name. But it does surprise me. And that's maybe why Everton did want to strike and get in there straight away, and that was the value of it being the first sponsor, the first name, is that you get brand recognition, and you might have that brand recognition for the whole of the time. So for their point of view, unbelievable job.
They've played a blind, haven't they, really?
But for our point of view, we're a bit like, well, maybe it was called an Everton Stadium for a season, then that might have stuck with us, and we don't have that, even though it's in there in big massive lights. For us, we're going to call it Everton Stadium or Bramley Moor, but I feel like Hill Dickinson's very much stuck now. Yeah,
no, it has, and I agree with that. It is. I've not really thought that it's been embraced, has it? Not even embraced, but it's just used. Yeah. And I probably just call it HD or something. I don't know. I hate it.
Well, you probably don't, though. You probably call it Hill Dickinson Stadium without even thinking about it, because it is the first technical name of it. Ironically, when we get to the Euros in 2028, it has to be called Everton Stadium, which is funny. So
right, here's my thing. I was thinking about it today. So I've got a Carhartt hat on. So Carhartt, I've got a connection with Liverpool. So the brand, I think it started in 1890s in America, and by 1910 they were coming over into the international market, and they came to Liverpool. I think it was Vancouver, Liverpool, couple of places, Canada. They're obviously over in Canada, and then so I love the fact that there's that link. I'd have loved us to have been a little bit interested in that, the Canada doc, delve into that history, the Carhartt Stadium. I mean, I'd take that, because there's
but do you think
there's history, and it's a global brand.
But do you think people actually care about any of that stuff?
I don't know if they care. But I think in terms of like when I see fans, when they say that who cares about the shirt, it's for the kids. And I just think it's the complete opposite of how we should think in a mindset. And that's no offence to anyone that says it. I just think that we don't understand maybe as a fan base at this stage, we still don't realise as a club, by the way, and then maybe as fans, we're just used to it. We don't understand the importance of how the brand is elevated and how we use that.
Everton, when Hill Dickinson was announced, did do a lot of legwork to show how linked Hill Dickinson has been to Everton
Right.
in for a very long time. So I feel like they try to link the brands together.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people that worked, because there is a link, and it is a local business, and it did work. So they did do a lot of work. But I do take what you said, because what's interesting about what you just said there about like whether people care enough is, I spoke to I spoke to a soldier before one of the matches. It was around November, coming up to the 11th, and he was talking to a few people by the South Stand, and he said to me, he said, you know, there's a link between Everton and this dock already. And I was like, oh, is there? Yeah. And he said, he went, soldiers used to get off the boat there and make their way up to Goodison Park from Bramley Moor. He said, so there was already a link here, and I was like, I've never heard that before. And he's like, yeah.
True?
So he said, yeah, he was like, you know, he was there,
great
and he was
fact.
like, so he's like, it's like, so I thought that was like a really, and that's sort of in line with what you're saying. It's like, if you don't tell people about these like small little links and create and demonstrate that there's already a history there, because I feel like these things can be really important if you want to tie Everton. You can already tie Everton into Bramley Moor as a dock by just establishing these very small stories of what tie Everton. And maybe Everton quite literally have missed the boat there, of like saying, could we have got people in early on to talk about their experiences of being an Evertonian whilst working on the docks, and maybe just like little things, and then that goes back into like the stadium and stuff like that, into the kits and all that kind of thing, creating history that then can be visualized in like kits and stuff like that. I just wondered if recently, obviously they've put out for like the Stones, and the Stones are going to be within the rail tracks, and obviously, and it's
the dot lines.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because they have Everton obviously spent a lot of money to make sure the hydraulic tower and those train lines, the dock lines, were all preserved brilliantly, and the dock wall we know had to be preserved. But I always feel like history is nothing without stories. Like, you can walk around Rome and just go, this is nice, isn't it? But when you walk around Rome with a tour guide and they explain all the stuff that went on there, it brings it to life. And I just wonder whether at times that early this year, but obviously this can still continues, that maybe needs to be brought to life a little bit of what it is, and then that can play its part in the hydraulic tower, what you use it for, or what you put on the kit, or all those little things that tie us to, because obviously this year's kit, they've put like waves on it because we're next to the river. Well done. Well done. Yeah, well done. I just wonder whether they could tie those things into it.
I think it's a great shout. I love the soldier story. I really hope that's true. That's absolutely incredible. I love that. I think it's the lived history, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's passing on that heritage. Yeah, I'd love them. I'd love them. See, again, who decides what stories are told, and what value do those companies that we're bringing in set at the club? You know, is the club leading that story, and then whoever else comes in is like part of our history? It's like, it feels like we sort of have to go along with external companies, and then we're on board with them, instead of it being the other way around. And I think it should be a complete power shift.
Do we have the power to do that though?
You can. I think it's the law of attraction, isn't it? And it's the law of vibration. I think it's a mindset, isn't it? I mean, here's one. Jaguar Land Rover. I mean, why didn't we go with them as a company? I don't know. They've just done that big green thing a couple of years ago, didn't they? The base here. It's like, pull those things, international brands, like as a shirt sponsor. I mean, there's just so many different things that we could do.
That's going to be like the big next announcement, isn't it? Obviously, Stake.
Well, is it?
Well, it will be one.
It's going to have to be.
Stake are done, aren't they? You can't have gambling on the front unless they can.
Yeah, we've rode that way for as long as we could.
Yeah, well, I'll be. To be fair, from what I'm aware of, Stake have helped massively. Whether we like it or not, Stake have paid a lot of money to be our sponsor. And as much as I think it's grotesque, not only on the shirt, but the brand itself. They have paid their way,
and which is complete fair income to them. But from my perspective, we've got to that point where we're reliant on a company like that.
Yeah.
No, disrespect to them, whatever they're doing. But again, it's that tone, isn't it? Why aren't we demanding far more? And we're in that position where we've got to rely on that.
I think it's more the second bit you just said, though. We had to rely on that money.
Yeah.
Therefore, they can do what they want. And I think that's where we have to get back to those principles of when we got rid of Sports Paysia, because the brand had become toxic, and we had the power to say we're never having a gambling sponsor, and that didn't last very long, because you have to throw all your principles out the window if you can't pay the bills.
Yeah.
So the next one's going to be very, very interesting. It'll be interesting how it's approached as well,
and that will give us an idea, won't it? Of
what's interesting about the gambling one is because I think it's 14, or it might be a little bit less, other clubs have to find sponsors.
Right.
Does that make it a very difficult market to? Do you know what I mean?
Depends if you've got creative people at your club.
Well, it depends,
I
doesn't it? It depends if you've got the ability to ring up and say, do you want to be part of this journey? Do you want to be one of the, obviously not going to be one of the founding members of the stadium now, because obviously we'll have been there a year, but do you want to be one of the people who are on board really early? Does a Christopher Ward, who, and by the way, with all this stuff with someone, I think
John Lennon Airport.
Well, I think Christopher Ward, that were a really good example of a guy who's in Evertonian. I met him in America.
Yep.
Came over to him and said, I really like your stuff. He said, I make watches. I didn't even put two and two together.
And that was him. That's interesting.
And
That's nice.
he came over for a chat, and I didn't even put two and two together. I apologise, Mike.
Did he give you a watch? Is what I want to know.
No. So, but I think their brand is a really interesting brand, because he is an Evertonian, and they're making Everton watches.
Yeah.
And they've got a place at the ground. I haven't been in. I'm hoping to go in soon to see it. But if they become the next shirt sponsor, I'd be if they're prepared to put the money in, as once was famously quoted. I think that's quite a good brand.
And they look decent as well. They're not, they look okay. Yeah. And they're around the stadium as well, aren't they? In the big form of, they've got these watches that they've. Listen, it's the way you elevate yourself, isn't it, in your brand? And I feel like we've gone off shirts and brand.
Well, we're going to come back to shirts, because I think that's
so. On another
important
thing of that, then setting the tone, going back to that Castor.
Yeah, go on.
We've got them. What, another? Is it 4 years?
It's a multi-year deal.
Is it?
It's a multi-year deal. What does that mean? I have no idea.
Good news for us. But Villa and Newcastle, didn't they get out of that as quick as they could?
They did, but again, I'm going to have to be devil's advocate on this.
Oh, no.
Right? No, I think it's important.
Come to the dark side.
It's important, otherwise I might get people telling me off.
Oh.
I think Castor came, they're a very young brand. They came into it, we obviously know the story, the two brothers from the Wirral, who come into it, and the tennis player, what's his name? Andy.
The Scottish
guy.
Oh God.
Murray,
oh my
Murray.
God, yeah.
Andy Murray. He got involved, and they went very, very quickly from down there to up there. And I think they jumped into they seen a market in football where the Adidas and Nike and maybe Puma, there's a big market under there, where there was a lot of big clubs who were not getting looked at. They jumped in that space. They did go to Newcastle, they did go to Villa, but I think quality control of getting those kits out so quickly with COVID as well. I think as well, and I might be wrong on this. Remember the thing with remember when that big ship got stuck in the canal, the Suez Canal, and it was blocking the whole thing, and there was a backlog of gear for do you remember that? It was just before COVID, if I remember rightly.
Maybe.
Anyway, it was a big ship that blocked the canal, that stopped all the trade getting to Europe.
Yeah.
I'm sure that had something to do with it as well.
Of course.
It had something, I think it...
Are you actually...
I'm genuine. Listen, my mind doesn't...
Everton, that, oh my God.
So, it didn't really have anything to do with Everton at the time. But I know some of our stuff was from Hummel, was in the same boat.
Right.
Anyway. I think all that played its part in the manufacturing program. They scaled up far too quickly. They weren't ready. and they give, and Villa and Newcastle were given poorly manufactured gear because they just scaled up far too quickly.
Yeah.
Those other clubs jumped out. They learned their lessons. They dropped down a notch, and they come to people like Everton, and I think, well, like, we've learned our lessons, and now, because we haven't actually got as many clubs, we can look after you better, which is essentially what Everton we've always wanted in many ways.
And it's local, I get that, as well.
It's less local because they moved the head office from Liverpool to Manchester.
But I mean, there is that thing.
Yeah, but I just had to point that out. They did move the head office from Liverpool to Everton. And I don't agree with, obviously, what the guy said recently about, like, if you can't afford shirts, then... But anyway...
Tone deaf.
Castore have been... all right. They've been all right. The kits, I'm a bit like, yeah, you could have worked a bit harder on that. I love the training. The training gear is great. It's great. I wear it properly to go training. It's great. But the kit, but who cares about that? It's about the kits, isn't it? The kits are so. Let's be honest. There's a couple of nice kits. You don't like them.
If you close your eyes slightly, do you follow? They think kits all over.
Probably
on Twitter. Can I say that?
Go on, you can say what you want.
So there's a few of these like social media accounts, and they put up these kits every 7 minutes, and they're just unbelievable. They're like, lower league Spanish teams, lower league Italian league, and they're just extraordinary. These kits, and it just depresses. I mean, their company, even like you're talking like Admiral area. There's all these like shirts that are just being pushed out. And again, with the heritage thing, I understand like clubs are obviously trying to become more authentic in their values and whatever. But I just think there's just this huge opportunity we're missing out on. And
do you think
I'd have just loved us to do?
There's a chain, isn't there?
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of the problem?
Listen, I'd have just gone to Adidas and gone, listen, lads, here we go. Let's give us a fantasy shirt from 1975. Give us one from 85 and 95.
I think
and
the
just
big problem,
go wild, and I'd have just done it.
I think the big problem with kits at the moment is we talk about, like, say, Adidas and stuff, right? But we're talking about retro stuff. The actual Adidas stuff that teams are wearing isn't great. Like, okay, the Rangers, the way they've got Adidas originals on, some of that's smart. But the actual, you can look at Liverpool's home and away kits, they're dreadful.
But I think what you've got to, okay, so I'll take that. But I think it's recognising I mean, we're talking about it all the time with Everton, like all these deals that they're cutting with the stadium. It's international branding.
Yeah. Oh no. When it comes to like, yeah, like I would, every time I see something come out from Adidas.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got no history with Adidas, but every time I look at some of the stuff, I'm just like, Dan, come on, mate, get on the phone. You've already got them at Roma. Let's do a deal with them so that both your clubs are wearing Adidas. And I don't care if Liverpool wear Adidas and they'll be like, oh no, because we've put all our money into them.
Yeah, I don't think they do it.
And that might be the big issue, of course.
It will.
But then get onto the phone to Nike and say, we want to go against these.
Yeah.
We want to go against these. You can do that in your city, and we'll go big on that. And actually, we might pull the plug on the deal with Adidas at Roma or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe you'll come to a game in the shirt.
But I think we just want, as just two people, selfish two people. We want good gear, don't we? We want good gear. We want to go in that club shop, and we're still talking on the same thing. We're still talking about money. We want to walk in that club shop and be bowled over by the quality of gear. And just putting Castore for the side at the moment, I walk in that shop. Everton, someone described it to me as the Leeds range. So you know that yellow top I sent you? There's more of that. And it's horrendous. Like, it looks like Leeds stuff from the 80s.
Right, okay.
It's absolutely horrendous. It's Fanatics gear, and it's a template that they've rolled out to all of their clubs, and it's absolutely god awful. Sometimes we're walking that club shop, right, and I honestly have to ask the question, who is buying this crap? It's dreadful.
I don't think they sell it.
Some of the stuff is absolutely dreadful. Some of the stuff when they brought out like the American ranges, like the baseball tops, was like, who on earth is buying this for like £90?
I don't know.
The art of football stuff I do like, but I think it's...
Yeah, it was decent, wasn't it? I mean, I bought some of it.
Yeah, I've got some of it. It's decent stuff. It's like footy stuff that you would go the match in, but you'd wear it, and it's also subtle as well, so it doesn't always strike out.
It is.
And then they brought the other gear. So the Mitchell and Ness stuff, with Mitchell and Ness is quite good in America, but the stuff they brought out is dreadful. It's for an... No, but it is. Listen, when it comes to stuff like this...
No, say it. I know.
When it comes to Americans might buy it because it's very American.
And it's expensive.
It's crap. Like, it doesn't... Like, when on earth... Walk around the city... Like, this is what I don't get is... Walk around the city centre... Go around Liverpool, right? And I try and find somebody who is wearing, first of all, a Castore top that hasn't got an Everton badge on it. Find someone who wears Castore, because you'll be hard pressed.
Yeah.
But then go and find someone on a non-match day who's wearing any of this Everton leisure
That yellow
gear.
shit.
And I don't imagine... Okay, on a match day, some people might be wearing it, but isn't the point of it is that it's leisure wear that you're supposed to be wearing on a non-match day? It's stuff that you go, right, I can buy that, or I can buy that and it's got Everton on it, right? No one buys this stuff. It's dreadful.
It is.
So what you need is people who understand what we want, what Scousers want. Scousers are... And I'm okay, not every Everton fan's a Scouser, but let's be honest, most of the people the large majority of the people in the stadium are from Liverpool. Walk around Liverpool, we love art, we love Adidas, we love Nike. Kids are all wearing Montrix, older kids are all wearing Montrix, so why aren't you tapping into Montrix?
Yeah.
And getting them involved? And yet, sell stuff, Castore, that looks a bit like Montrix, but has got an Everton badge on it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't, and I know the training gear this year has looked a little bit like that. It's got elements of what you would look at as like an Under Armour or a Montrix top.
Right.
And I just don't understand who they're selling. We're talking about developing more money, creating more money, better PSR headroom and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Are we just doing that thing which we seem to have done for years, and we have just talked about with the sponsors? And I think it's similar with Seat Unique, where someone hands us a check and then we just go, whoa, we're done, we're out.
Yeah, and it's that wax lyrical, isn't it? It is. It's just see the money, take the money, and again, chip away a little bit at the integrity of the club. I just think that recognise the fan culture and embrace it and then run with that.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's 30 and 40-year-olds that are crying out for some of that stuff that we've talked about and want to spend their money on it. Like, it's a massive market that then they've probably got kids and they're going to do the same thing. It's like such an easy market. If you create really decent stuff and you tap into that culture, Evertonians will embrace it.
The amount of people I talk to, because I think merchandise is like the base level. I think it's stuff that you'll never... We obviously, when we done our first podcast, we talked about the fourth kit, which is now 30% off. Right.
Get that knife in.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is... No, but I also think that's a knife for the people who bought it on day one.
Well, did anyone buy it on day one? I want to know.
It was 2 months ago.
Did anyone actually on that day after that cup game?
I think they did.
Did they? Really?
I think it was 2 months ago, and now it's 30% off. So if you're...
30-day refund.
So you're like, if you... Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a 60-day refund on them.
It's an insult, honestly. And again, it ties into that thing, doesn't it? Just chipping away at what's
these
left.
are the things that people buy, though, aren't they? So I'm looking now at the anti-social social club stuff, right? Okay, so a hoodie is £88, right? A t-shirt is £48.
A t-shirt?
A t-shirt is £48. A pair of grey sweatpants with something written down the leg in pink is £75.
Rip off, does it say? Or?
Yeah. There was a trackie. Oh yeah, trackie bottoms, £110.
I saw that.
And there was a trackie top that I think cost more than that, right? I've got to ask the question. Who's buying that?
Who's designing it?
I have not seen anybody wearing that other than a couple of people wearing a hoodie and a couple of people wearing a scarf.
Who's signing that off? Honestly, I just think at this point we're all mugs. They genuinely think they take people for absolute mugs to like that. people are going to endorse this. I mean, I understand the game is completely gone at this stage, but to think that Evertonians will look at that and think, yeah, that's Everton Football Club, or yeah, I'll accept that. That's us. Come on, let's be a little bit integral.
But I don't even care if people do say that's not Everton Football Club. I just look at that and just go, it's awful.
It's awful.
And you want £110 for a pair of tracky
So
bottoms?
who signs it off then? Who signs that off?
But I just think, I don't know who signs it off, and I don't know whether it is a case of, well, they've just give us a big check.
But just because you can do light shows doesn't mean we should. But it's the thing, isn't it? Just because we can now do these things doesn't mean that we should. Yeah. Just because we can name
just because they could make those dinosaurs doesn't mean they should have.
No, but I mean, Dr.
Ian Malcolm got it right.
I've got one. So do you think the stadium, the stands, the names, do you think we're waiting to sell them off too?
No, I don't think you'll do that.
God, I hope not.
But I do think they're waiting. But I do think they're waiting for one of the sponsors to pay for the seats within the ground to make them white. Yeah. And they'll say, right, if you put your sponsor name there, then we can put an Everton badge at that end, and you're paying for both. Yes. I do think we're waiting for that. It's just commercial trade-offs, isn't it? But again, which I understand that the game has changed, but give us the integrity, please. But the difference is though, right? So we talked about before of what you have to do, what we had to do to make money to build the stadium, what we had to do to have the sponsor on.
Yeah.
Can't we now be more picky about what we accept and who we accept? So therefore, the next sponsor, we just said it there. If you come out and say it's Christopher Ward and put the Christopher Ward logo on all day for it, seemed like a nice brand, got Everton people involved, and also have been helping Everton for the last 3 or 4 years with sponsorship deals. I'm all day for that. Got no problem. Do I have a desire to buy one of their watches? No, because I don't wear watches like that, and I wear sports watches because anyway.
Yeah.
But so
there's a market for it.
There's a market for it, and again, no problem. But I just feel like stuff like that, I wonder whether Everton can just say no.
I think you get money hungry. I don't, but I think they see the money, and I think they think that things are working out as planned, and we're getting all these events at the stadium, and I think they think what they're doing is right and they're on the right track. And just think, how great would that stadium be with those white seats? Just anyway.
Yeah.
It would already feel like it was ours, but again, it's not supposed to feel like it's ours. That's my opinion.
Do you honestly believe that?
That's my opinion.
All right, I find that interesting.
That's just my opinion. We rent that stadium. Oh, how long we got it? 100-something years? I mean, I might not be around.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Listen, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. That's just what people talk to me about.
But that's the thing. We're not sitting here in isolation. You talk to people actually on the street when you're taking photos to them. I talk to people through machines. We get it. We have a general idea of what's going on out there. We're not just putting the fear of God into people by casting our opinions. I think these are opinions that other people have, and also we've got eyes. And that's what we're talking about, like the gear side of things. It's like there's a lot of people out there. I think there's a lot of people who walk into our club shop and walk out without anything and feel disappointed, and they just go, I've got money, but I'm not, like, it's like the retro stuff. I love retro, you love retro, we all love retro together, but it's like we live in we spoke about it before. All of the big clubs at the moment are pushing nostalgia. Liverpool have in their deal with Adidas that every season they bring out authentic kits. It's part of the thing. We bring our 3 kits out and we bring an authentic kit out, right? So that's Adidas getting another thing. So I doubt they'll ever bring a 4th kit out.
And that's Liverpool setting the tone, by the way.
Yeah. So I doubt they'll ever bring a 4th kit out because they don't have to.
No.
And of course, that's because they've got a relationship with Adidas.
Yeah.
And they've had a relationship with Adidas for many years. And they can bring all kinds out. The training gear. Well, who have we got a relationship with? Umbro. And I see a lot of people wearing Umbro gear, whether it's been bought on classic football shirt or, whether it's been bought on Vinted, or whether people have been able to get new productions of old gear, which is another thing that which is easily done now.
Yeah.
And what I can't understand is Everton make no money off that. So if I go on Classic Football shirt and buy a shirt, that's already been sold once by Everton. They don't get any money for that. If I go to a third-party seller and buy a retro jacket that Everton sold in the 80s or 90s, Everton don't make any money out of that. If I, God forbid, go on DHgate and buy a retro kit from DHgate that Everton don't sell, because they do. There's retro kits on DHgate that Everton don't sell. Everton don't make any money about that. So what are we doing? Why aren't we selling these kits and these trackies authentically in the shop? Why haven't all the Umbro kits in the shop got Umbro on them? Right, someone will probably tell me, well, we can't. Can still hold the license for Umbro. Now, is it the license that allows them to make retro stuff? I don't know. But come on.
Ask the question.
Pick up a phone. Ring, go and get the license that allows you to go into Everton's club shop and put Umbro on all those kits. Because when we had Umbro as our kit maker and Score Draw were doing our retro tops, all those tops had Umbro on them. When we had Lecoq Sportif, you could buy the 85 kit on it.
Yeah.
With Lecoq Sportif on it. So someone pick up the phone and make a deal so that all those kits, the Umbro kits, have Umbro on them. Because not only that, they look so much better they look more authentic.
Yeah.
But not only that, there's so much training gear that people are paying a fortune for now for that nostalgia kick. Because number one, they don't like the stuff you're churning out.
Yeah.
They don't like the Castor stuff. You have to hold your hand up to that. So other people are making money off Everton that Everton aren't making. And that's what I find very frustrating.
Well, considering we talk about record deals and money, like someone's obviously dropping the ball. But again, the going and making the phone call to Castor and saying, can we use the license for this? It's having what's the direction? Is there a 10-year plan? Is there at least a 5-year plan? Is there a 6-month plan? Like, they're the questions that maybe we shouldn't ask, but like, it doesn't seem to be direction. It's like, who comes next with the check, and then we'll go with that. That's a good deal. And it's just like, again, it's the trade-off of the club. I just feel like every season you get further away from what it could be. And like, what's interesting about what you said about Liverpool with that Adidas thing that when they got the launch, did you see the pop-up in the city?
Yeah, Classic Football one.
Yeah, it was just, it's unbelievable. But it's taking the city and that it's like ownership.
Because it's all works in a line. It's all planned.
It's beautifully orchestrated.
Adidas were in this building with the red men, telling them what the plan was. I walked in here yesterday, right, and all that new Liverpool stuff was in the back room. All that new just with the old 90s badge on. It was all in there. And I've said this loads of times, I don't get jealous of Liverpool winning trophies. I get jealous of the fucking trackies they get.
But the marketing, the brand, the badge, the identity, the planning, the elevation, the channeling, that whatever that is, leads to the push for success, doesn't it? The push for competing, all of those things. I keep talking about it, and I've bored myself talking about it, but it's all relative.
But the funny thing is, right, when you think about a club, right, Liverpool don't need to tap into nostalgia because they're the league title holders right now, and
they redevelop themselves. They constantly are. They've got this really weird thing, and it probably stems from I don't want to talk about them, but it's and I know you don't, but it stems probably from Shankly, doesn't it? It's a version of that DNA.
Yeah, Arsenal are the same though, aren't they? They tap into the nostalgia, and again, they're top of the league right now, and it's like, do you really need to? I just find it really fascinating that Everton, as a club who lives in the past, can't utilise and monetize the past.
Yeah, but the difference with Liverpool and Arsenal is they love that nostalgia and that they celebrate it and they embrace it. But they always feel contemporary.
Yeah.
Whatever era it is.
Yeah.
From the first time they won the cup, what was the 60 something they won the cup, and from then on, it just feels like every decade and Arsenal are a great example of that. They feel like they always like they reimagine who they are, but it always stems from the core of what they are.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's the difference, you see. We've sort of always dwelled on that sort of
we can't even
DNA,
embrace 95 because it's the last time. So we as a club don't allow ourselves to embrace 1995 because it is the last time we won something. So instead of celebrating the people who won that, we look away. We look away. In fact, when the club shop was open at the ground, there was a timeline on the wall, and it didn't even include winning the cup in 95, but it did include Louis Saha scoring the fastest goal in 2009.
I think it's just the saddest thing. I saw a fact that I think Undai had 8 dribbles during the United game.
Out of 9,
Isn't that brilliant? It's like, what's the bar? What is the standard? Like, if you don't celebrate the cup win in 95 and you just have a nothingness history of 30 years of like relegation battles and just an average sort of playing field, like what's the standard to fall back on? You need those wins in order to look at what you are trying to achieve, and gives you like a standard, doesn't it?
We should be able to look at it in both ways. You should be able to look at it and go, it's shameful.
And how insulting.
It's shameful
people
for everyone.
That did that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's shameful for everybody who's come since 1995 not to win the trophy, but it's not shameful for the people who won the trophy in 1995. That's the point, isn't it? And yet we look at I'm not saying everyone's like this, but it's like almost like, oh, 1990, don't want to embrace that at all. So it's a very...
I loved that team. And I thought that was, you know what? I'd love Royal to have had longer, and it was like
but wouldn't it be
politically like motivated? Obviously there was loads of change upstairs, wasn't there? And loads of stuff going on. But I loved that team, and what an insult that the last major thing that we did do, and it was, at Goodison. It's just...
But wouldn't it have been really nice? And I don't know again. Imagine 1995, the summer of 1995, Everton brought a range out with the kit we wore, proper with Umbro on, the jumper we wore, the sackie we wore on the day, like proper celebrating that team.
Black and blue socks.
But I just don't, the black and blue socks, but I don't think we would ever do that because we're terrified of what other people would say about it, that we're celebrating.
Are we terrified, or do we just not know what to do with what we've got?
I think it's a bit of both. I think the club. I think it's a hangover from the Ken Wright era and it still exists at the club. I'm hoping we get away from it, but that thing of like, number one, but we don't upset our own fans by them being upset by other people laughing at them. We are far too much. I think personally, people might have other opinions of this. I do feel like we are more concerned about being upset because we live in a city with one of the biggest clubs in the world. You can't hide away from that.
No.
But at some point you've got to go, so what? What can we do? There's nothing we can do as a football club that can eclipse Liverpool Football Club. There's nothing we can do. It would take generations, even if we were put on the right path.
Yeah.
Even if we were put on the right path, it would take...
It's light years, isn't
exactly.
it?
Look at Manchester City with the billions they've spent, and they've only won one European Cup. So it's they've won league titles, but they're nowhere near where Liverpool are, or even where Man United are, of course. So why are we worried about Liverpool fans like giving us a stick?
Which football club is it that goes to the hospitals and gives all the newborn babies a football kit?
It's one in Italy, isn't it?
I'd be doing that.
Yeah, I'd be doing that. No, I would.
But I mean, it's setting a tone, isn't it? And it's like, it's the originals. I love that. There's just something, like, just be a little bit... Be creative and just like creative. Ownership of the city. And we're never going to do it on that scale.
We're never going to.
At this point, maybe in our lifetime. Yeah. But, things change. And...
We're never going to beat them at their own game.
No, but we create our own game.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we're never going to beat them. So why be worried about what anyone any of them say.
Yeah.
It's water off a duck's back now. Even
Yeah.
if they win, and again, this is not about us, it's about where our place.
Yeah.
It's about our place. And I think that's what the stadium is supposed to signify. It's supposed to signify that this is us. Look what we've created, another stadium.
Yeah.
So let's embrace it as much we can. But it goes back to all these things. I think we're just a little bit, I don't know if we've got brave enough people to pick up the phone
or knowledgeable
and say, what's the number one brand in the city? It's Adidas. So I think so anyway. So let's use the contacts we've got to see if we can get them. And when they bring all this retro stuff out, we're part of it, whether we've had an Adidas kit in our lives or not. Who cares? Like I said to you before about Boca Juniors, they're bringing this amazing retro top out. They were wearing Nike when that top actually come out. No one will care. People will buy into it.
They will.
They will buy into the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if they don't pick up the phone, ring Nike and say, your biggest rivals are going against, they're Adidas. And they might go, yeah, we've been with you before, blah, blah, blah. But like you said before, if that doesn't work, then go to people who are willing to be bold and be different and embrace whatever it is, and go, do you know what, right? We're going to make you stand out. And now we're going to do that. Your kit is going to be unbelievable. Yeah. Your kit is going to be the talk of the town.
And use the Originals name. I mean, I think it was last summer or the summer before, the Originals all over town, huge Adidas posters of Liverpool players, and I'm like, they're definitely they're taking the mick there.
Take the piss.
But you know what? Run with it. We're the Originals, yeah, totally. Okay, so find a company that wants to embrace that story and just run. Like I said, I feel like there's a fine line between either we're not brave enough, bold enough, or innovative enough, or we just don't understand it. And I don't think the people signing it off are just happy to sort of just let us just roll by and get these contracts, you know.
Definitely, and I think definitely with a company like Castore, I think you need people who understand the magnitude of what Everton can be. Yeah. And it's not a case of just, I think the biggest problem Everton have had, and I think this has been a big problem for a while when it comes to like what we're talking about right now, is you need to understand the culture of the people and what they turn up in on a match day and what they wear. And if they're not big kit people, how do you make them become kit people? How do you go, oh my God, that is unbelievable? Or, you know, sell them. I mean, look at the tracksuit you've got on right now, an old classic Adidas tracksuit that we all had in the 90s. Like, suddenly you get that kit and you stick an Everton badge on it, and everyone wants one because it's like the thing they would normally wear, but you've stuck an Everton badge on it. And suddenly, and that's always been my point about these things, is like, give people what they're already wearing, but just stick an Everton badge on it. And make it like, don't make it a big stupid big thing. Make it like cool. Like, so put the 80s. If you put the 80s Everton badge on that Saki, I think you're selling a shitload of them. I think you are. If you get any of this Adidas original stuff that they're selling at the moment, and they're going to be selling it big for the World Cup, if you have the Adidas Originals badge on one side and the Everton 80s badge on the other, I don't think you're going to have any available anywhere.
Absolutely,
because I think that's what people will buy into.
Yeah.
But I don't know I don't know whether we've got the foresight to do that. But even with Castore, I don't think we're doing that. Why can't we at Castore have really nice gear that you would want to wear, and it's got the Everton 80s badge on, and it's only got like a little Castore badge, or Castore just like written rather than whatever their logo is, but it looks like stuff that people want to buy. And I think this is where we're just so far behind.
Yeah, it just doesn't align. But it doesn't align, and it feels and looks like it doesn't align.
Yeah.
And whether that's just with the cynical, I mean, we're cynical as a fan base, aren't we?
Of course
but
we are.
Play into that. You know, we're different, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's a different feel around Everton. You just know an Evertonian when you meet them, and I think it's having
self-deprecation.
Well, you know what? Run with that.
Yeah.
Run with what we are as a club. Run with the feel around the fan culture, and be bold enough to do that. I could walk into the Everton Heritage Society on a match day, and there's like, Richie's probably got like 100 shirts hanging up, and I could probably take one. Let's take the Home Farm one, for example. and I could just give it as a blueprint and say, and take something from that. And there's so much like we could do.
Yeah, there is. And we're very fine because we've gone on for a while now. Just
speak for yourself. We could though, because there's so much to talk about.
That's why we're doing multiple. Just on that. So what was mentioned as well was the branding on the stadium.
Okay.
How can that be improved? What would you like to see?
I mean, it's just so big, isn't it? The name. It's so big. It's huge, isn't it?
Hill Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an American stadium, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, they're telling us without telling us, aren't they?
You watch any American sports cast, and you see they always have the outside shot of the stand, of the ground, and because a lot of them are inside, you'll see that massive, whether it's a Barclays Centre or the State Farm or whatever it is, you see the name of that stadium in massive lights.
Now, I know you love the States, don't you? I mean,
not at the moment, but yeah.
But I mean, as a place you have visited,
as a thing,
you have enjoyed,
as a concept,
you have enjoyed America as a concept. So, do you think this is the total peak Americanization of the English game? Do you think we're going through the motions in real time?
I think we're giving them. I think we're giving the owners what they want.
Are we?
That's what it feels like to me. I feel like the owners have come in and they've saved the football club.
I'm talking across football though, maybe not ours specifically.
I think we are. But what I would say is, I think we've got a unique opportunity to pull it back a little bit at the moment, because I do think football clubs are a bit like, this isn't working. Like,
how do we do that then? Fans? You mean fans pull that?
Well,
back?
I think fans have to pull back, and then the club will have to pull back. So something we haven't spoke about when we talk about finances is like the Seat Unique thing, which I just think is absolutely nonsense. You can go on Seat Unique on the day of a game and get a ticket cheaper from Seat Unique than you can from the resale. It has, in my opinion. Club might tell me different. In my opinion, I don't think it's worked. I'd rather they just ripped it up and sold season tickets to fans who haven't got season tickets. I think they'll go every game. I just think it hasn't worked, and I don't think it will work for a club like Everton for about 10 years till we get to because I just don't think we're that kind of club. And I think the owners have come in, or someone's come in, and think you can just sell anything to football fans, and it simply hasn't worked. How we've got a new ground and not sold out is just mind-blowing.
Do you think they'll be testing it though, test the water, and they're just going to see for the next year or two if that, because they're obviously trying to get rid of season ticket holders, aren't they?
I think they've tested it this year and it's failed.
But do you think they'll keep going with it?
The Seat Unique?
Yeah.
Well, they might probably have a 3-year contract. There's probably not now. But in my eyes, it's massively failed. The reason it's failed is empty seats. If there's empty seats, it's failed.
Is that the football on the pitch though, isn't it? It's the football, isn't it? I mean, it all comes down to the football, isn't it?
Successful clubs get people wanting to pay silly ticket prices for it. Bang average football teams, who cares? We will go. We're loyal, very loyal fan base, as a certain great man once said. But we don't have those extra people who are going to pay that extra money to come. But if it's an entertaining business, we ain't very entertaining. So why would you pay?
Well, it is entertaining. Depends who's,
We're not though, are we? It's like saying, I'm going to go to the theatre, and someone goes, it's crap, that, or a film. If you hear a film's crap, you're not going to go and watch it on the pitches, are you?
2 stars.
Exactly. If you hear a play, I'm going to go and see that play, it's rubbish,
Repeatedly as well.
I'll leave
keep
that.
Going back.
I'll leave that. £70 a ticket. No, I'll leave that. No, you get a programme with it. Oh yeah, that's going to make me think about it.
I think we want different things though now, as not us, but like the not traditionalists or the purists. But I think people coming into the game now, the people that the club are wanting to attract or appeal to, are not there for the result, are they?
But they're not. But also, the seats they're trying to sell aren't fancy seats. You don't get anything with it. It's the same with like the Club View thing. They've literally just tried to roll up a package and go, there you go. And people have gone, no. We could sit anywhere we want. We're not people who are flitting in and out here. We're not selling we're not giving these tickets to clients. We are real fans who were told that we were going to get something a bit more, and we're not.
And a bit more on the pitch as well.
And it ain't going to lie. It's the Seat Unique tickets are for normal fans, but they are the price though. So it hasn't worked, and I don't think it'll ever work at a club like Everton. No, when it'll work when it's the Merseyside derby and a load of fucking Reds by them.
Well, that'll be United, I think
Yeah. So that's when it's going to work.
Oh, well, yeah.
And if they want that trouble, that's up to them. But so just finally,
Go on.
what would you do? How would you improve the branding on the stadium? Is there a way to improve it? We've got crests, but is there does they have to say Hill Dickinson Everton Stadium? Is there something we can do?
Yeah, Everton Stadium is the thing, isn't it?
But then
make Hill Dickinson smaller, put Everton Stadium.
They ain't going to give us 10 million quid though for that, are they?
Again, if you want it for next season, look how much the club's sold off the ground for the last couple of years. I'd just be saying, listen, we're going to have to reevaluate that contract, lads, and let's see what we can do. But it's how you elevate yourself, isn't it? It's all about the brand.
Yeah.
God, this is depressing.
I don't know what we've even talked about. I don't even know if it was. I don't even know if it was linear. I don't know what the thing we started with or what the thing we finished with.
Something about Hafnia.
I think just overall, I think we understand that more money has to come into Everton Football Club. I just think we can get that money in a better way.
Yeah, and also if it comes in, please buy a right back.
Yeah, I mean that's
let's see it go into something. Yeah. I would take that. It's all about on the pitch, isn't it?
Ultimately, if it ends up on the pitch in the summer, then I understand. But I just think you can, if you give fans what they want, they will pay the money.
Yeah.
And I just think you can take a big contract off a company, and that shouldn't be the end of it.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the top and bottom of it.
Totally.
You shouldn't just take a big contract off someone and go, that's our job done. Wash our hands with it. I believe personally that if you do a deal with a company, a sportswear company, that you have a duty of care afterwards to make sure that the gear coming out is what people want. Because ultimately, no one's going to buy it. And I want to buy Everton stuff. I want to buy gear. And I just find all the stuff pretty ordinary.
It's that alignment of values, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does it correlate with the club's values? What are the club's values like?
Yeah.
And maybe the owners, when they come to a game, they can
we can
feel like there's an identity there. And
I think that's for another podcast. The owners. Anyway, there you go. Big thanks for listening. Big thanks to Sarah for coming in.
Me. Cheers.
It's quite late as we're recording this, so the energy level, we'll trying to keep those energy levels up. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.